You mentioned about climate change there and how it impacts farmers. We've had a lot of conversation around climate change and what is the best way to approach in terms of helping farmers adapt to climate change and see how they can live with it. One of the ways that have been proposed is the issue of carbon farming. So it's a situation where farmers are expected to be paid. From your perspective, how do you see it, and is it a helpful approach to actually helping farmers adapt to climate change?
I must say, I don't understand why farmers have to be paid to take care of the soil that feeds them. Yeah. It's an added advantage to be appreciated. When we talk about agroecology and the environmental dimension, we talk about soil health. We had recently the release of the Soil Atlas for Kenya. And what shocked me was that our soils are dead. Many of the soils that we are working on are dead. So if we are planting crops on dead soil, you can imagine that we are not producing nutritious food. So for me, the carbon farming, it depends on how it's done. First, it should not be the sole motivation of the farmer. The farmer benefits additionally from carbon farming. And really, many of the people are focusing on growing trees. Others now are focusing on soil carbon. I have been privileged to be a member of the Carbon Market Association of Kenya because I work with Caritas Kitui for the last 12 years to have a carbon credit finance project that is geared to look at cooking in households in Kitui County. And the project we're looking at is everywhere in Kenya, many of us use wood for cooking. What does this impact on women? It impacts on women's health because we go to fetch the firewood. The 3-stone cookstove technology we use produces a lot of smoke. So we have a lot of respiratory diseases. We also have a lot of blindness because of the smoke. And so my experience over 10 years as the Carbon Country Project Advisor is that we have so far constructed 32,000 cookstoves. And we have a scientific method to measure, one, how much we've reduced in terms of carbon emissions. Two, the parameters that we look at contribution to SDG. We've created 200 green jobs because the cookstove uses local materials. It uses brick. The artisans are trained locally, so it provides a job. If you construct the cookstove, you're paid for constructing like a local fundi, that cookstove. So there are multiple impacts we've seen that. In regards to carbon farming, I work with an organization called Kimaeti Farmers Association. It has 12,000 smallholder farmers in Busia and Bungoma County. And those farmers have changed the face of Kimaeti because of agroforestry. They have changed the face of their farms because of continuous addition of carbon in the soil through composting. This has translated, one, to more incomes, two, to be able to change the environment, and three, to produce nutritious food. Additionally, they've been working with VI Agroforestry, a Swedish organization, to ensure that they get carbon credits from the farming they do. What the money does, it comes to groups. Then the groups begin what we call rural financial advisory, rural financial access, because they lend out loans to their members. So in that way, it can be very benefiting. But I would also like to say that it's an approach. but we have to be careful for implementation to avoid farmers being taken advantage of, because they have to sign contracts regarding to the carbon farming on their land. And also sometimes the project developers are not very open and transparent about the money that comes and the profit share between the developer and the farmer.
So there's a challenge in terms of data collection?
I think for me, it's just the challenge is now we are happy that there is the carbon market regulation law that regulations that were put in by the government of Kenya in 2024 in May that governs especially benefit sharing between project developers and the farmers themselves. And I think for me, that was a real big gap that people would take advantage of, because there was no framework, but now there's a framework. But I have seen carbon farming benefit some and also bring tears to some. So it's a double-sided sword depending on who is implementing.